effort of SMEs from different countries and different regions. Not only the cars, but also numerous kinds of goods and services which are using today can be joint effort of the SMEs. So these SMEs can be considered as the most influential and important element of the GDP growth of an economy or a country. If I simply said, SMEs can be called as the backbone of the economic growth of a country, especially in developing nations. So, in Sri Lankan context, do we have really identified the character of this SME to our economic growth? In Western Region Megapolis, we have identified the gap between these isolated SMEs, and the linkage has broken for the supply chain to this development pattern. So, we are trying to link and fill the gap to link these SMEs with our development purposes. So, as the SMEs, their responsibility is to enhance their capacities with the value addition, increase of their technologies, think innovative ideas, and sustain with this competitive market, because there are different kinds of international and national companies and huge industries which are going to invest on this opportunity, because it is a vast opportunity to them. But in Western Region Megapolis, we are trying to get the local SMEs into our development process, and they can be proud partners of this massive development. So, in Western Region Megapolis, we have identified there are numerous numbers of informal sector SMEs which highly contribute for the development. So we like to formalize them, and in a formalized manner, they are going to join hand with us to this massive development of the country. So, entire Western region will be divided into different zones, like that Colombo CBD, which is a financial and service cluster, and there are 2 industrial and manufacturing clusters in Horana and Mirigama, airport related activity cluster in Katunayaka, Science and Technology Cluster in Malabe Homagam Corridor, and Logistic Corridor which is run from the harbour to the airport, then Plantation Related Economic Cluster in Avisavela, Forest Related Economic Cluster in Baduraliya, then Tourism Clusters, and coastal and marine zones. So numerous numbers of SMEs opportunities can be delivered and emerged from these developments, because they have their own act to play in this megapolis development plan. So the emergence, operations and sustenance of these SMEs can be join hand with the WRMP plan, and they can be privileged by themselves increasing their financial capacities, and also the region as well as the country can enhance their capacity in terms of economy and development. So, as I earlier mentioned, each of these zones have different activities and opportunities for the SMEs, and these can be further elaborated by our colleagues in the latter part of this presentation. So, at a glance, I would like to say that the SMEs which are joined hand with the WRMP, we are going to increase the GDP contribution of the SMEs, which means you, up to 70% in 2030. So, the numerous number of opportunities will be described by my colleagues. So, Vanuji, it's over to you.
So moving on to the transportation sector of the Megapolis Transport Plan, it was well isolatedly spotted well in the last seminar about the plan and all, the transport plan. So I will not go into the detail of the plan of the transportation, but I will today talk about how the SME sector can get involved in the transport sector of the Megapolis. So moving on, in the transport sector, we have identified some of the areas where the SME sector can be involved directly. They have so much of opportunities in the areas where the road expressway, in the areas of road expressway construction, then when it comes to the public transport and movements, then paving and landscaping sector, then the material, especially the material supply area, and finally the operation and maintenance area. When moving further to the one by one sections of these, firstly, when we talk about the road and expressway construction, there are numerous opportunities that where the SME sector can get involved. Actually, in the present status also, SME have a good involvement in the construction of road and expressways, I guess, because many of the large construction firms engage themselves and the they engage subcontractors in their construction processes, so they were well engaged even in the present status. But still, in the activities like asphalting, paving the other surface processes of the carriageways and the lane marking, pedestrian crossings, about this marking, about the marking stuff, and then it comes, especially when it comes to the machinery and material supply, then comes to the construction of culverts, drainages, and the other small scale bridges and stuff. SME sector can directly involved in those kinds of activities, so that the constructions of roadways and expressways can have the backbone of the SME sector to proceed with. And there are so much of more other activities like labor supply, then the warehousing and storage facilities, especially in the construction era, and then the consultancy services for small design necessities like small kind of bridges, like in the small scale. So then, when it comes to the public transport and movement, we have several sectors under the transport master plan of Megapolis. That is, we have categorized them because in various sectors there are so much of projects that are involved. That means in the like in the taxi services, buses, passenger boat transport, one of the most prominent is the light metro system. Then it comes to the railway electrification and the addition of some of the new electrified lines, and then the freight movements, then the office and school transport. So in the other side, it depicts some of the projects which comes under these sectors. As an example, the passenger boat transport system, and in that box that shows the direct employment generation. As an example, in the passenger boat transport system, there are approximately 500 of direct employment generation. So that means there are some kind of an indirect generation as well. So in this case, we can see there are so much of a huge number of employment generation, especially in the development of multimodal transport hub and centers. The approximation is like 10,000 employments, and definitely there will be a huge percentage from the SME sector as well. So moving forward to some of these key and prominent projects. First comes the multimodal transport hub. Actually, it's land 75 acres, approximately 75 acres of land identified in the core area of the Colombo, or else in the heart of the Colombo. So this will be transferred into a more modern city and a more like a well-developed core area. So it consists not only with the transport hub, but it will be a combination of all the retail, commercial, and other kinds of activities as well. So under this multimodal transport hub also, there will be a lot of opportunities generated where the SME sector can get involved. So it basically in there also, in the construction stage, the material and machinery supply, labor supply, and also the services like cleaning and stuff, and all those security services and things in those fields, they will get more opportunities, and most prominently the retail facilities which will be coming up, which will be emerging, because in this huge land area there will be so much of space provided for the retail facilities for the small scale, large scale, and medium scale all. So it will be a good business promoting area also. It's not only a transport hub actually, and it will generate some kind of good business activities as well, and actually a business hub too. So then moving forward, another $1 billion project is the light rail transit. Actually, like we are working with the Japanese government, and there were several negotiations going on, and now they have funded, they have negotiations are going on, and they have admitted the fact that we have to go with the LRT system, and soonly the feasibility studies will come up. And in such massive projects also, even though the driving force will be a good, reputed company, it should be backed up with the SME people and the local sector especially. So in that case, in a project like LRT also, when we take a project like LRT, it's kind of similar to a construction of expressway, elevated expressway, because it is the structure will be, the civil works will be somewhat similar to a section of viaduct of a elevated expressway. So, but obviously, it will be slimmer and slender than the carriageway of a expressway, but still the construction process will be same in the civil field. So in that case, all the activities which SME sector can get involved in the expressways will be as same as for the LRT as well, and couple of things will be added more, like when it comes to the tracking and telecommunication and electronic fields. So some of them I have listed down here, the rolling stock maintenance and clearance, and when there is a huge area of yards and depots, they should be maintained well, and all those stuff should be done. So the SME sector can get involved in those kinds of areas as well, when such large, huge project is in the construction, implementation, operation, and maintenance in every field, in every phase. So moving on, it's the taxi service, or it's kind of same in the taxi service, school, and office transport. So the SME people can get involved in many areas. Actually, according to our transport master plan of Megapolis, what we have planned is to have cluster companies to operate taxis. So in that case, the SME sector can give their support to that companies in the operation stage by supplying vehicles, provisions of uniforms for drivers. Then all those small kinds of things will be kind of a business. So, and a kind of a promoting mode. So in that case, the vehicle painting, designing and preparation of logos, development of software applications for tracking and booking. As an example, the Uber and Pick Me Up are available now, and those things will be, the IT sector will get involved much in the transport sector, so that it will be promoted more. Then comes a very attractive project, that is the passenger boat transport system along the canals in the inland of the country. So in that case also, there are so much of opportunities which can be driven to the SME sector, like as an example, the supply of safety equipment such as life jackets. It's not only the life jackets. We know that there should be in case of an emergency, there should be a way to evacuate, so that those kinds of small boats kinds of things should be there, and the construction of boat jetties, of course, and the landscaping and paving stuff around the jetty areas. Then comes the maintenance of boats, the cleaning of boats, and the retail facilities around the jetties. And also the off-peak hour activities. Actually, when we expand this network as a network, actually there are some of the bottleneck areas, so that we need the dredging. We need to do dredging in order to expand them. In that case, the supply of the dredging equipment, and then in the off-peak areas, there is a separate thing, like we are promoting the ecotourism thing. So in that cases, the small businesses can be operated and generated, and like start their own businesses in a small scale, and to develop into a large scale one, so on. So this will be actually a good and a very attractive project, so that SME people can get involved much in this. Then moving on, it is the modernization of buses. In this case also, what we have to do is, what is in the plan of Megapolis is to have cluster companies to operate the bus transport, because we know that people are not much comfortable with the prevailing system because of the quality slump prevailing with the public transport. So in that case, the supply of the cluster, supply buses for the cluster companies, and the bus station constructions like bus bays and all, they are not much of a big construction, so that they can be, the SME people can get involved in that. So the supplying of GPS equipment, IT-enabled regulatory and dissemination systems, then comes the supply ticket machines and so on, and also the maintenance of buses, like repairing and stuff. Actually, even though they are not directly related to transport, they are some kind of opportunities which will be generated because of transport. And then it comes to the railway and freight movement. So the track, some of the activities can be the track maintenance, rolling stock maintenance, then comes the track and container supply, and the kinds of works like cable laying, because we are going to electrify the system, the prevailing system, and couple of lines will be added more to the system. So in that case, we need some kind of the power lines and all those kind of things will be there, and the signaling systems, the supply of materials to those things, and the manufacturing of signal barriers, it's an example. And most prominently, the courier and delivery services when it comes to the, mainly when it comes to the freight movement, because we know in our plan there's a freight only line from Kosgama to Avista Vella running from the plantation city in that case, and there are so much of couple of other trucks running to the several parts of the country as well. In that case, we know that the courier and delivery service is a kind of a good attracting service these days, because people tend to use it, and they give us a good, good service provider, so that many companies are emerging these days about these delivery and courier services. Then it comes to the warehouse and storage things and these ticketing systems. In all those processes, the SME sector can get involved, and there are so much of couple of opportunities generated for them to back up the large-scale people. So then next, other than the key projects in transport like the LRT, multimodal transport hub and centers and all, there are some of the other projects, minor interventions that are proposed by the Transport Master Plan. So one direct project is to locate some of these electric car charging centers, 50 car charging centers in the first phase around the city. So in that case also the SME sector can get involved in those directly, and those about this landscaping and paving of the walking and pedestrian areas, because we have identified some of the walking and bicycle friendly areas around the canals with linking to the boat transport system also. So in that case, the landscaping and paving necessities, and then comes the road excavation activities. I mean, not the major ones, but the minor ones, like for an example, for a project like CCTV cameras, like there's a project of installing CCTV cameras in order to detect the violations of people doing violations, and to detect the number plate of the vehicle and to charge them. In that case, there are some kind of minor construction activities like to be done, like road excavation. So in that case also SME sector can get involved on those. And next, the cable installation activities in signal improvements, because there are under the Transport Megapolis plan, there is a plan to improve all those intersections with good signaling system, and to link all those signal systems as well. And then roadside board markings and fixing, web-based application developments, database developments. Those things are somewhat common things of that will generate some opportunities to the SME sector. So from all of these that we can see, even though like we dream a big dream in the transport sector, like without SME sector, we can't achieve that dream, because it will be the backbone to support the whole, like the large-scale investors, large-scale people who will be engaging in these massive projects. So with that word, I'll hand over my presentation to Mr. Vishwa.
Mr. Nimal Atukor will now present the IT sector opportunities. But before that, I want to summarize what Venuji was saying. The Cabinet of Ministers will be getting the Economic Committee approved proposal to sign up with the Japanese government for a $2 billion, initially about $2 billion, which will rise up to about $3.5 billion eventually for the LRT system. So some of you would have seen it in the papers. Some intense negotiations are going on right at this minute. And we have been working during the last 1 week, giving whatever necessary information for the negotiators. And if it comes, it will cover 75 kilometers of the city and the outskirts and running on the elevated side. Then the Intermode Transport Center will be advertised soon, and papers are in front of the cabinet right now. And as Venuji explained, it's a massive project. Estimated cost is about $8 billion and covering a 75-acre land. Then the third one, most interesting to me, is the waterways that will also come on tenders sooner than later. Your partner will be the SLRDC. Other than the canals system in the Colombo and periphery, we are trying to see whether we can link up Kalani River and the ocean from at least have the ocean-based transport system from Kalutara Panadura towards the Nigambu with a stand-up in the Colombo Fort, particularly now port city is coming through. So those are three projects that came to my mind, but what I also would like to mention is we are going to rehaul this signal lighting system to be consistent with the traffic flow. And in order to do that, there's a 2.5 billion rupee project, of which the first one is actually 50 million. You can start with a small way so that we will be installing electronically controlled camera system, which will also simultaneously do the traffic management real time. We are trying to see the suffering police constable can be taken out of the road by putting some of these automated, also is revenue generation, because not like the policeman stopping you, once the camera detect you, you will get the fine to your home mail, so that you have to pay that, otherwise next time it will be added into your license fee, and so no bother, it comes to your house. So this is the first part of the installment. There were other bus operators. We are right now entertaining one proposal for 1,000 buses to be provided by one person, all these low-bid buses, and we are going to make it into segmented smaller projects so that there can be luxury buses on the road, particularly taking care of the school children. We have changing the regulation in such a way, starting with with this international school, so that all the vehicles don't flock into the school. They have to be picked up by 1 or 2 or 3 buses and bring them into a central location where the parking is available, so the parents can pick them up and take them from there, instead of going into the particular school like Ananda, Nalanda, Visakha, Royal College, where it is happening. So these are some of the opportunities that I would now request Mr. Nihalatukorla to take us to the IT world. Thank you.
Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. Now, this is our dream. It's a long dream. How we come to the, how convert our, some sector as a Silicon Valley in California, or Hyderabad high-tech city, or Sugaba Science City in Japan. Now the dream is coming to the, reality. Now we are going to convert one of our major cluster, Science and Technology City. The Science and Technology City is the key strategic intervention of the Megapolis master plan. It is to build on the Malabi-Homagam corridor, and the intention is a structural transformation of the national economy into a knowledge-based, innovation-driven economy. We expect major high-tech manufacturing and tradable service sector with strong export orientation. It is designed to provide the comprehensive, all-encompassing ecosystem for innovation. Now it is expected to generate employment opportunity with a significant proportion of them being highly specialized professional position of engineers, technologists and scientists. New universities, high quality residentials with ample facilities will be developed to create a conducive environment to scientists and creative individuals working in living in the area. This project is expected to attract business park developers, software houses, big players in advanced technology and biomedical industries, as well real estate developers. The science and technology city is expected to generate additional 60,000 new employments. There is a direct employments. Now this boundaries is north side from Kalin River, west side Southern Expressway and Malbay City, south side Diyagama, Pitipana and Horna Industrial City, east side Godagama and Panagoda, Imbulgama. This is a vast area. This is connected to the national highway, high level and low level, and also railway network, the Kalin Valley railway network, and also two expressways. One is that Southern Expressway, and that the one is outer Colombo outer expressway, right? There are a lot of that beautiful environmental features as such as rivers, paddy fields, and rocks. And there are existing facilities in this cluster. Now we go to the IT park in UDA in Malabay. It consists Millennium IT, CNEC campus, SLIT, that Sri Lanka Institute of Information Technology, Horizon campus, Saitam campus, and also Neville Fernand Hospital. Those are the existing industries and another institution in the IT park in Malabay. Then you go to the universities, townships in Diyagama, National NSBM Green University being constructed, and NDT Science Institute also being constructed. Then another one is Nanotechnology Park in Pitipana. This is Sri Lanka Institute of Nanotechnology. This is established in 2008 in Mahena Pitipana Hobagama. Now it is major, our main institution. Sri Lanka Institute of Nanotechnology specializes nanotechnology research and development to make innovation products and add values to natural resources. Now these are the existing facilities in the science city. Now, if you go to the sector importance, Sri Lanka has highest literacy rate in Asia, 92%, and also IT literacy rate in 43%, especially in western region. The ICT workforce more than 90,000, and World Bank Easy of Doing Business Index, we are number 1 in South Asia, and also we are signing MOU with Sri Lanka Telecom, providing high-speed fiber optical network and data center, in addition to digital infrastructure. Now that present R&D component in GDP is 0.11. We are expecting to go in 10% in 2030. The global position of the IT BPO grew rapidly. The STATCOM report says that we are in very upper limit. Then infrastructure support, we are providing housing, road network, rapid transport system, education institution, high schools, universities, technological institution, communication facilities, Wi-Fi, fiber optics, training centers. The city will provide the infrastructure for logical concentration of the all high-tech research and development centers, incubation centers, and high-tech industries with all requisite support service and facilities. And in addition, the dedicated technological university among other major technological centers. I think this will help all SME sector people come and join hand with us and come to our science and technology city and start up your business. Then key issues identified in the SME sector involves following: lack of market information on SME sector related to science and technology. These are our drawbacks. Unavailability of financial and infrastructure support for SME. This is also another one. That most of the SME people, they don't have management skills. We have to provide them that, that such training. Poor financial situation and low level R&D, we have to help them to get some loans and other financial support. I think Megapolis will provide in future. Then also the lack of product-based R&D, research and development product-based, and supportive infrastructure is still not provided. I think we can provide from this developing of this science and technology city. And also most of the SME sector people, they are isolating their work. I think we can help them to minimize these drawbacks. How would Megapolis help them? Formulation of appropriate national policies, building up technological capacity, knowledge flows of technological databases, research and development in inter-firm linkages. Those are the way we can help them to their startup starting. Then those are the identified manufacturing projects in the SME sector: electronic computer peripheral equipments, computer peripheral apparatus, biomedical instruments apparatus, household audio and video equipments.
Mr. Nimal Atukorla also mentioned about the university system. This is something that we are now really pushing hard. We are trying to release 60 acres of land to the Jayawardenepura University, because IT sector, as Mr. Atukorla mentioned, cannot grow without educated people, educated youngsters, entrepreneurs. Now, in order to get the university system going, Megapolis is contributing a massive way. We are providing land to Jayawardenepura University, science faculty, medical faculty, etc., about 60 acres. We are also providing a large extent of land to the Mortu University for expansion. Then the Arthur C. Clarke Center is going to have space communication R&D center, which is going to be the backbone, according to Mr. Atukorla. He keeps on insisting that this land be provided to this institute so that they can keep producing R&D plus graduates. Then, of course, there will be several foreign universities emerging from Japan and USA. We are currently negotiating with both MIT and I think, if I am not mistaken, MIT and the Harvard. We are trying to get those universities to have affiliated universities within the Megapolis area, large extent of lands. So this will be the backbones of the IT sector, as Mr. Atukorla mentioned. And incubators, we are going to build incubators and rent out to the up and coming youngsters, entrepreneurs, graduates coming out of the universities. So we take the responsibility for the initial capital, what Mr. Atukorla mentioned as a drawback. We are trying to identify the drawback and come in there. So with that little catch up, may I now invite Mr. Viswajit Piris. He will do the final segment of our presentation this evening, and thereafter we will go for a question and answer session and follow up.
Okay, thank you, Mr. Jayasekara. And since we are running out of time, I will quickly brief you about the SME sector, how we are going to facilitate the industry, construction and tourism sector, especially as Megapolis plan itself reveals that various opportunities for SMEs, but there are lots of players in the field. And this is something kind of a boring chart that you can see, but this is a bit similar to the one that JLanka explained, but I'll just focus on few areas like the government and non-government agencies that are involved in these SMEs to develop, especially the Industrial Development Board, the Ministry of Industries and Construction, and also the Western Provincial Council also has an authority dedicated for industrial development, and Chamber of Commerce is doing something, and there are lots of agencies are working on the SME development and what Megapolis can do. Especially, this is the first question everybody asks, and we have some answers for this. And as JLanka mentioned, all the zones have different dedicated activities that can be present to these SME sectors, and I will focus on the key areas, especially from the Meerigama and Horana industrial townships. So this is the master plan. The part of this master plan shows you how we are going to develop the Meerigama industrial township, and out of this master plan, there are clusters identified for large-scale industries, and also to support them, the SME categories also been identified as dedicated zones. Out of this 1,600 acres that has been developed as one cluster for industrial city in Mirigama, and about 80 acres are allocated for the SME sector to support these industries. And we have identified about 93 acres to the extent for the first phase of this industrial development. Out of that, we have identified about 40 to 80 perch land blocks that can be dedicated for industrial development, especially for the SMEs to support for the manufacturing and heavy industries. So those are the spaces that we have identified in the large urban design, and there are some spaces that are already been identified and that will be ready for the SME people to invest and come in and play a supportive role for the large-scale industries and then to grow further. And there are lots of facilities, and also the infrastructure will be provided for them to have their industry without any measures, which is quite a feeling for the most of the SME sectors.